They covered Trump almost getting shot way longer than this. Like this thing is gone. It's over with. Like they're gonna bury these people tomorrow, and this may never come up again. And the last thing I'll say too, and I don't know where you fall on this, and it might be a bit of a hot take in this environment, but this is why I didn't really celebrate Luigi Maggioni or whatever his name was shooting that CEO. I know a lot of people think it was either funny or they think it was like good. That's what you get. This healthcare stuff is not done well. And F the CEO, he's a billionaire. I couldn't celebrate it because at the end of the day, I feel like the same commonality in this shooting exists with Luigi, which is a person who can get their hands on a weapon, feeling entitled to just be judge, jury, and executioner for somebody else.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
All right. So I'm not going to start foolish because I feel like I didn't cover this story because it happened when I was off last week. But Minnesota Representative Melissa Hartman and her husband will be laying in state today in the state of Minnesota. They will lie in state. That's how he said, I guess. Lie in state in the Minnesota Capitol Rotunda today until 5 p.m. And her killer, she and her husband and their dog will be appearing in court today as well. She and her husband were killed in what authorities described as a, quote, politically motivated assassination. That this has not been covered more widely is stunning to me, especially since this murderer, this cretin, allegedly had a list of, I think, 70 people that he was targeting to kill. He shot and killed she and her husband in their Brooklyn Park, Minnesota home on June 14th. She's a Democrat. She will be the first woman to receive this honor of lying in state in the state capitol. She and her husband will be there with their golden retriever, Gilbert, who was wounded in the attack. He was trying to save the lives of his parents, his human parents, and he had to be euthanized. I just think about people who are representatives. You get elected to serve. You get elected to serve your people that elected you. They voted for you. And this man has identified anyone who, I guess, cares about people and who's going to, govern a certain kind of way that will put people first as a threat. And this is a man that called himself a Christian. This is a man that had a family, wife and children. I'm going to read a statement from them in a minute, but I just want to spend time honoring the life of Melissa Hartman and her husband, who had nothing to do with any of it. He just was married to the lady and ended up dead. He also shot two others, a husband and a wife, representative. They did not die, thank God. But officials found a notebook that belonged to this cretin, and it had a hit list of other politicians, particularly those who were vocally supporting abortion, which you kill people. You kill people because you're mad about people supporting people's right to choose what they do with their bodies. You're literally taking life. It makes absolutely no sense. You quote unquote super Christians, what would Jesus do? Not this. And you will find yourselves, if you believe, if you're all Christians, you're going to be in hell for this. This is a special place in hell for somebody with the twisted morality to think it's okay to take the life of somebody to save the life of children. There are a lot of children that could use your help. They're all over the globe. You care about babies? Take your ass to El Salvador, or I don't know where the babies are. Not Gaza. There you go. Go to Gaza. Get the babies. Here we are. So his family, they were questioned, or they delivered a statement on yesterday. They said that the attack was a betrayal. They gave their deepest sympathies to Hartman and the Hoffman family. That's the other family that was shot. And then they said this. They said, "We are absolutely shocked, heartbroken, and completely blindsided. This violence does not at all align with our beliefs as a family. It is a betrayal of everything we hold true as the tenets of our Christian faith. We are appalled and horrified by what occurred, and our hearts are incredibly heavy for the victims of the unfathomable tragedy." I'm not going to say they don't believe these words, but I'm going to call BS on them because it absolutely aligns. It aligns. It tracks, by the way. It tracks with everything that we know about these kind of heinous crimes, these heinous, inhumane crimes. It tracks. Kamala Harris is expected to attend the funeral, which is tomorrow of the Hortmans. It will be tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. So Kamala Harris is expected to be there. But there's a silence from this administration on this. Nobody,
Of course.
nothing.
Yeah, if they got a paper cut, because they just see everything as sides. This administration is Democrats, Republicans, us, them, right? That's real Americans versus those who just happen to be here in the borders of this country for now. That's how they see everything, and included elected officials. For this is one of the reasons I'm more understanding. I try to be very reasonable and rational with my critiques of politicians, because I do think Democrats can do better in a lot of scenarios, but I also do understand you in this country, you are putting your life on the line. Like if you take up that mantle, decide to have some public responsibility to your constituents, this environment is filled with animosity towards elected officials, and it is being sanctioned by the top elected official. So you know, there's a reason we have security for AOC. You know, there's a reason these people, like in a reasonable country, you would think you wouldn't need that. Like we understand, like, hey, we elected, they're doing their jobs, but nah, you putting your life on the line just by even standing up for this, even something as tacit as the right to choose, you become the avatar to somebody that you need to be politically assassinated. So I don't take that lightly, and I understand that's a difficult job. And a lot of people have to bury their colleagues today, people that they know, tomorrow. I mean, and then you're right. This has not been covered that much in the news, at least from what I've seen. Like it was shocking that it happened. They covered the manhunt for the killer, but as soon as they caught him, it's like there was nothing left to talk about. Because we've accepted this level of violence. We've accepted this level of guns in America. We've accepted this level of death and loss to gun violence in America. The same way we don't cover school shootings as much anymore. Like we have kind of accepted tacitly, like, oh, this is just par for the course. They covered Trump almost getting shot way longer than this. Like this thing is gone. It's over with. Like they're going to bury these people tomorrow and this may never come up again. And the last thing I'll say too, and I don't know where you fall on this, and it might be a bit of a hot take in this environment, but this is why I didn't really celebrate Luigi Maggioni or whatever his name was shooting that CEO. I know a lot of people think it was either funny or they think it was like, good, that's what you get. This healthcare stuff is not done well, and F the CEO, he's a billionaire. I couldn't celebrate it because at the end of the day, I feel like the same commonality in this shooting exists with Luigi, which is a person who can get their hands on a weapon, feeling entitled to just be judge, jury, and executioner for somebody else. And I can't applaud that any more than I can applaud this, because once you accept an environment like that, that's what the environment is. It's playing a basketball game where somebody gets flagrantly fouled and there's no refs. Well, we flagrant foul from now on. That's the game. And so we don't kind of accept our public role as the referees to be like, no. If there's something ill happening with United, we take them to court. We find some other way. But we can't give up completely into like, nah, you just kill the people you don't agree with. Because I think there's a lot of people on that side of the aisle that's going, yeah, he killed two people that we consider against us. So he's a hero over here, even if it's quieter, even if they're not going to tweet out the memes and make all the jokes. There's a level of like, yeah, we don't have to care about those people. They weren't on our side, and two human beings lost their life and two others were injured.
That's not a hot take. That's a human take. That's not a hot take, Roderick Morrow. That's a human take. That's a human take. And we have far too few humans in this country. I've been really sitting with this notion of where we are and how we get to another place. And it requires that same absolute understanding of where the line is. And it has been blurred for so long that you're absolutely right. And in order for it to get back, or maybe it never was, maybe there's always been an acceptance of dehumanizing people. And so whatever happens to those people we've dehumanized, that's what they get. There's always been a notion of that. And as Black people in particular, we were the ones that it was okay to not just put in bondage and rape with impunity, but also do horrific things to our bodies in the name of commerce, in the name of Christianity, in the name of saving the soul. They did it to the indigenous people. Kill the Indian, save the man was the edict, as they stripped children from homes and cut their hair and brutalized them and beat them into submission. This has probably always been the way it is. And if we're going to have a civilized society, which we do not have, each of us are going to have to stand up when it's not comfortable, when it's not popular, and say that's wrong. So I applaud you for doing that. I am in complete alignment.
And part of the reason I think I'm higher on Biden than some other people is because I do think at his core he was a decent man who was about decency. He couldn't always get every single thing right. You know, none of the presidents will ever do that, but I never felt he was indecent. And he had many slings and arrows, many political like operations against him, media outlet. Like he had every reason to feel aggrieved and to feel, hey, look at I'm doing so good. Y'all are ungrateful, but he never took that that bait. You know, he never this president is still making social media posts talking bad about Joe Biden, saying the 2020 election was stolen from him. Like this is a president that is only grievance, this Donald Trump thing. Mm-hmm. But Joe Biden, who had a lot of opportunities to feel aggrieved and be like, I'm aligned. I don't even like how y'all are trying to get me out of office. You know, like he didn't take that. He took the high road so many times. And I'm not belittling the high road. I know many people belittle the high road, but like, that's how you get back to some level of decency. We're not going to get there we're never going to outkill them. We're never going to out violence them. We're never going to out grift them. It's not going to happen because we have decency on our side. And when we do indecent things, we actually kick ourselves out of the coalition.
Correct.
So you have to be decent. And I thought that was, I thought Biden was like that last stand for decency of like, hey, if something happened to a Republican on his watch, something like this, he's not coming out of the White House and not talking about it. He's coming out the White House to talk about it, to be like, hey, we're not doing that. And we're not celebrating that. I don't care that I don't like this person or you don't like this person. That's not what we do.
Matter of fact, Smith just told me not only is Kamala Harris attending the funeral, but so is Smith said, okay. All right, don't whisper in my ear. Okay, confusing me on these airwaves. 866-801-8255. You're right. He would attend the funeral the way Kamala Harris is attending the funeral. Yeah. This is, to your point, fun and games are fun and games until they're not. And I think we're going to have to take a hard look at ourselves. All of us, especially those of you who are raising children, because they're watching you. They're watching you. It's not what you're telling them. They're watching you and your behavior and how you move on social media. They're watching you. And we have this horrible ass world that we have right now, primarily because we have horrible parents. I'm going to say it. Collectively. 866-801-8255. And if it's not you, don't at me. I get so many people at me about things I say. I don't know you. I'm not talking to you. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Keep it pushing.
Dog gonna holler.
Come on now.
Holler. That's all.
You talked about people on dialysis. Okay. If you don't fall into the category of the people that I was talking about that could do something about their diabetes and their liver conditions because of behavior, then I'm not talking about you.
Right.
Let it go. Let it go.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will